My bad. I am in a sell position right now, attempting a top wick entry for the 5-minute candle before flipping bearish and filling the wick down. I'm gonna go break even here. We filled the range that I was looking for. It's only 8 pips. I think my entry was a little bit off, so I think this is pretty much the target I was looking for. No way, this thing just stopped me out before pumping. Wow, what a bitch. I'm gonna have a sell stop on the break of this low. Oop. I'm actually gonna delete that. I'm gonna give this 5 more minutes for the 15 to fully confirm we're closing below the VWAP here. So that way it's not a fake out before a continuation up. I'm going to give that a little bit of more time. I'm not going to reattempt the sell because of the no top wicks on the 30-minute, 15-minute, and the hourly. This was supposed to be an impulse push to the bottom to fill the area here before then flipping bullish. Bung Motkar versus Trump. Tell me that was a real or fake video, guys. Oh yeah, the one where that guy said to Trump, "Fuck you" or something. So, what the hell do you think about what's going on with India and Pakistan, bro? The two countries you would have never thought would have gotten into some fucking war. is in war, bro. You're like, India is too busy doing their own thing. Pakistan's too busy doing their own thing. They're both being hurt by this economic struggle that the Americans and the Chinese are doing. Why would you then go and start a war of your own? And not only that, a war where if you only drop 10% of your arsenal, of your nuclear arsenal, 125 million people die. I think that's wild. Stupid shit. Two minutes. In my opinion, if you're India, where your average income is like a few $100 a month, and likewise with Pakistan, why are you spending all of your resources on war when you could be bettering your own society? You just spent $150 million on some bombs. You could have spent that $150 million to clean up some of the streets. Come on, man. Please. This doesn't make any sense, bro. It's crazy how all these oligarchs and all these massive and all these like world leaders put us into fucking war, spending millions and billions of dollars on war when that money could literally resolve every issue our country has. The $500 billion sent to Ukraine, brother, that could have resolved homelessness and the drug addiction problem in our country in a year. But they want you homeless, they want you drug addicted, so that they want you doing the bare minimum. They want you capable of doing more, so they keep you healthy enough so that the ones that want to succeed can, but then they give you just enough bullshit to keep you like subdued, so that your entire life you're just a consumer. All you do is consume. You work 40 hours, you spend 95% of your paycheck, you save a little 5% for retirement, you retire with just enough to have a roof over your head and to eat some food, while the government lives off of all your money. And that's why we're all in this trading game, trying to get out of the rat race that we're in. So a few weeks ago, I got the flu, like about a month ago. And then I recovered from the flu, but I had like a lingering cough for like 2 weeks. And then my girlfriend got some throat virus, where you're just coughing up phlegm and you have an extreme sore throat. And then I caught it, which is completely different from what I had a few weeks ago. So basically I caught one sickness, and while my body was recovering and in its weakest stage, I got hit with another one. I don't know, while I'm not coughing or anything, I just lost my voice. I hope it comes back. If I talk like this forever, that would fucking suck. So I lost it on Monday. Yeah, I haven't done anything. I don't usually do anything for recovery. I just kind of let my body work itself out. Like when I caught the flu, I waited like 4 days before I was like, all right, bro, it's been 4 days and I'm still sick. I need medication now. I gotta get a new bottle of honey. The one I had in my refrigerator, I left it in the corner of the fridge for a long ass time, and I don't know if it expanded. It like overflowed out of the sides or some shit. I don't even know. And I'm like, it's probably still good. I don't think honey expires, but I'm gonna go buy a new bottle. Our buys would have worked out. Our sells, sorry. But there's just no top wicks here. No top wick, no top wick. And we still have a support here. We have to come and break below this level and confirm that we're closing below to continue taking sells down. See if we can close below. My bad. I said I was gonna take a sell stop there. Sorry. I was on my phone and I muted the mic so you guys didn't hear. What the hell? Timberwolves versus Warriors. That should be a good game. I'm break even here. If we close below this range, I'm gonna trail my stop to this high. I'm not looking to close anything. That was a total of 35 pips for the full push. This is house money. I'm not touching it. This is the level that I was targeting, that right now if we flip, then that's the minimum requirement for a continuation bullish. Sucks it took my first entry out. That was the best possible entry. No, this would have still taken me out. When this push happened, actually, maybe at 40 pips I would have closed, and I was targeting more of like 50 pips for the runner. So if you look here on the hourly, that's what I was looking at, right? I was looking at the range on our way up. We had this resistance here, which we respected, and then we had this support here, which on the 1 minute, that's where we created our first little block on our, once we broke above all of these levels here. So not only did it respect the high, it also respected the low and created a level here. So I said, okay, cool. If we're going to be in this range and this is going to be the current resistance, where does that match up with? We also have a level here. So that gave me enough confluence to say, okay, this could be the high. Now, if it wants to continue up, it's going to create a lower high before continuing up, right? Where's the lower high going to be? It could most likely be at this level right here or somewhere in this zone. So because we broke underneath the VWAP here, I was like, all right, basically that's my pivot point. So we're underneath. We could think of this as a support. Basically, we're underneath the support. We came down, we retested the support and rebroke with massive volume. I'm entering the short there. It didn't play out. This was the second attempt right here. I waited for another pullback to really confirm, and that's when I got in the trade, confirming that we're actually going to break under. And the target was here because this could have been the low. See how we respected this level to the T, and now we're respecting this level to the T. What up, Farzo? Big dog in the house. Hold on, I'm gonna go downstairs real quick. Not only do I need a Theraflu, I need a blunt. Nah, he missed me. He's only growling because he loves me, not because I'm annoying him. Speak. 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 No, you're not gonna do it on top of me. Like, sit. Treat. Hey, bro, I do my own stunts. Ugly ass hourly closure, looks like fucking trash, but we could still be coming up after respecting these levels to grab orders before continuing down. Let's not disregard that. That's what the 30-minute money printer is looking like, the 15 money printer, that's what it's looking like, the 5-minute money printer, all these money printers. And just like that, I'm gonna have a sell stop just in case this shit flips. My 4 hours is a bit different than yours. More like an hourly, 30-minute, 15, 5. This is gold, bro. Because this is futures. Where are you from, Farzo? Are you American? Nah, I would assume no. So, in America, we can't... Wait, what's AI? Australia? Am I tripping? So basically, we can't trade Forex here, bro. All the CFDs, all the CFDs here shut down. We can trade offshore brokers, but our money's not safe, which is what happened with Wix. Over 7 figures in his account, and they shut the broker down. He had to like switch firms, or not switch firms, the broker switched their liquidity providers, and he had to wait through the whole process. And then once he was able to trade his account again after like a year, they or less than like a year later, they told him that they can no longer serve Americans, that it's illegal basically. So that he had to withdraw his money in quarters, and it was a hassle to withdraw the money. And as an American, we have to trade futures. So the gold equivalent of XauUsd, I'm deleting the sell stop, is GC, which is the gold contract. So if you go here, XauUsd, gold, same thing. Same entries. We take the same trades, identical trades. See, price came down, double topped, came down, price came down, double topped, came down, price came back up, retested this resistance, came down. See how it came down, pulled back, and then rebroke the low, came down, pulled back, rebroke the low. The wick that you got down here, we got the same wick to the same level of interest over here. We broke above the VWAP, came up, retested it and drove. We broke above the VWAP, came up, retested it and drove. So it's pretty much same, but different. Look at the price, 318 and 323. My price is 20 pips off. Not even. My price is 40 pips off. So because price is 40 pips off, the candles are going to close a little bit differently. But it is only 40 pips off. If this gold drives up 500 pips, this gold will also drive up 500 pips. If this gold pulls back 200 pips, this gold's also going to pull back 200 pips. So if Don has a buy stop, and I also have a buy stop, and his price goes up 10 points, my price is also going to go up 10 points. Sometimes you might have a more of like a wick on futures where it'll go past price 20-30 pips, or it won't reach the same price by 20-30 pips. But those are like minor little differences that don't really play a big part. The majority, no, so I'm explaining to you why I trade this versus this. That because of all the issues with trading CFDs, I can no longer trade the XauUsd chart. I have to trade the futures gold chart. That's why I'm trading this chart that you thought was a stock and not. I was just explaining to you why we don't trade the same thing anymore. It's still the same thing, but we don't trade the same. You're trading CFDs and I'm trading futures. The liquidity on this is less, but the slippage is also less here. My spreads right now are 1, 2. What are your spreads? A futures broker, if Wix had $1 million and he decided to withdraw it tomorrow, within 3 days it would be in his bank account. With an offshore broker, they're going to tell you, no, sorry, we're going to have to do that in quarters, and we're going to have to do it in crypto, and I'm going to send you this much from this account, and then I'm going to send you this much from this account if you're an American. But if it's legal in your country, then that's not a problem. But for us Americans, it's fucked. I'm going to put a sell stop here. And I'm in. That shit's like instant 15 pips profit and it's driving. I'm going to hold for a little bit. Let's see what it can do. That was up 15 pips and I saw 0. What the heliante? I'm gonna go break even here, and I close partials at 13 pips. I was hovering like 2 pips away from my TP, so I just closed there. I hate when it does that shit. If this keeps pushing down, we're gonna see, right? If we break this low here and do this, I will be trailing my stop to this high. If we start hovering here and we don't do shit and it just starts eating shit here, I'll close full at like 30 pips on the runner. We've attempted runners once, twice, and this is the 3rd attempt for a fucking runner. Will we get it, bro? Shit. Farza, if you stick around, you're gonna see me in full force. Look how many trades I've had already. The 4-hour close is going to cause a massive pump. It's been happening every single session for months now. Every time 9 o'clock comes around, these Asians love to buy gold. I'm just going to close full there. I don't like how this was kind of suspect. It might still dump, but I'm going to let it break out of this range before taking the next buy. I think this is just strong, and it can push us back up to break even. Especially how we kind of money printed here. Suspect. So full closures at 15. That's basically 30 pips in total profit. The 2 partials we're at 15 pips, and then you're right, it is 20 pips profit, and then this one was at 30, which would Or, yeah, which in thirds it would be the profit of 20 pips. Yeah. Mid. Going lower for sure. Yeah. I'm not interested in my runner running 100 pips. I'd rather scalp with full positions within that 100 pips and then catch more than 100 pips within that 100 pips. The daily range is 200 pips. If my runner ran 200 pips and I closed full, to make the same amount with full 300Ks. So let's say that runner ran 200 pips. To make that same amount with full size positions, I need 60 pips. So instead of banking on a runner trying to run 200, I can just scalp 60 pips within like 3 trades. My runners aren't big enough to make that a possibility. My runners are in thirds. I mean, I guess it could, but my runners in thirds are pretty big. But like I would have to hold a full position for like 40 pips, 50 pips, then close partials and then leave a runner going. But I like to scalp. The most you're allowed is 3,500 every 8 trading days. The reason I like the 300Ks is because of my massive amount of drawdown. So yes, my target is a little bit higher, but with the massive amount of drawdown, it's so much safer. So much less tilt. Let's say you're trading 3 micros or 4 micros and you have a bad day and you tilt and you hold all day long, you maybe lost a quarter of the account. You do the same thing on a 50K. Unless you're trading single contracts, that's the thing. I got both of these for $16. No. Not the target when you're trading live. Not the target. The target, I used one contract. One mini. And it took me 3 weeks. When they did the $16 account discount, I bought 4 accounts, 3 accounts. I bought 4 accounts, failed 2, passed 2. So the only reason that I struggled a little bit more to get that extra to the 20K was because once these accounts are funded, not only can you withdraw more per week. No, it's not an instant funded. I bought the 4 accounts for less than $90, bro. They were $16 each. So that's what, $38? That's 32, $65. And then I activated both of them for $125. So that's $250 plus 65. You're looking at $325 it cost me for 2 300K accounts. Yes, you can instant pass on Apex, but instant passing with 7,500 drawdown but a $20,000 target is almost impossible. If your thing pulls, let's say you do a 35 lot or the full max lot, and you're trying to get like 30 pips, if it even pulls back, you're trying to get like 40, 50 pips. Let's say if it even pulls back 10 pips, you're fucked. Let's say it goes in profit. That's the thing. It has to be a day where gold pumps 100 points without coming back, without a single 10 pip pullback. It pulls back 10, 15 pips, and there's your 7,500, and it destroys your account. I actually have a video of me trying to pass 2 300Ks during news, and because of the pullback, it failed both of the accounts. It pushed bearish, activated me, pulled back, drove bearish, hit the target after liquidating one account, and then it pulled back even harder on the other account, activating the profit target, and then came down instantly, liquidating it, and then it pushed back up into profit on both. Literally fucked me. But because you have that 7,500 drawdown, it's comforting, bro. It's comforting. And trading 3 micros, my biggest day trading 3 micros was $800. So why do I need to go any larger when my biggest day was $800 off 3 micros? $860. Today, in the morning, I made between Asian last night and today, which is how my account counts it. It starts at 5 o'clock counting the new day. So Asian, it counts Asian, and then New York, I made $500. So between Asian and New York, I make usually around anywhere between like 500, and my best day was $860. That was 860 just New York, and then I made like another 300 during Asian, but I'm only gonna count that as a day. With 2 accounts, 3 micros. So there's no point in going anymore. My stop losses are dynamic. They're based off ranges. So I try not to risk more than 1 or 2 days of profit for my stop loss. So for example, let's say I would have gotten stuck in these cells. I would have used the rebreak of the daily high. So it is negative RR, but the probability of the trades winning is much, much higher. Like for example, this was 20 pips, this was 15 pips, and this was 0. So we're at 35 pips for the session. If this would have hit stop loss of 80 pips, I would have been down 50 pips for the night, which is not bad. I can make that back within, like you saw here, a couple of trades. This is what I was looking for below here. The fact that it did it here, that was way too close to my entry. My entry was, I believe, on this low here, and I would have gotten probably stopped out there. Yeah, I trade negative RR. My average, according to my stats, my average win is like 160 something, and my average loss is like 3 something, 4 something. But my win rate is like 87%, almost 90%. Most of the time. It did do what we wanted, but I think my runner would have been stopped out. Yeah, there's no 5-minute rule. I think that runner would have been stopped out. Let me see what my level was at. No, my entry was right here. So that was off my entry by 12 pips. So my entry would have ran there. $15-minute no bottom wick here. What kind of suspect shit is that? We're below our moving averages here. Let's get a 5-minute closure below the range, a pullback, and then a rebreak of the low, and I can take more sells. Unless this thing starts to pump, right? Then then we gotta wait. Yeah, I traded my live account and I flipped it 450% before I withdrew all of that money and used it to try to get funded. What the hell, Yante? What the hell? That's the thing, that my plan was this to form here to confirm we weren't going to respect this level and pull back up. So if I would have held that short after price pulled back 39 pips, I would have been shitting bricks being 6 pips away from my entry, being like, damn, I should have closed that. My plan was this, not this. So I'm more happy that I followed my plan than anything else. I really needed to see this below this level here. This level here is strong. I really needed to see it below that to confirm that my runner would have kept going. This 5 no top wick. This might just be one of those where it just drives. Did we grab orders for these 15s? Yep. I'm going to market execute a sell here. We got 32 pips to the bottom of the range. Holy shit, you have a beautiful, amazing entry. Actually, I think I might just close full. We're too close to this range for me to try to leave a runner. Let's see how we dump here. A lot of new names in the chat. What's up, gang? Literally, I was watching a video earlier today that said, we just got a new pope, but there could literally be nuclear warfare right around the corner. Shit. Oh, man. The Russian that knows where we're gonna go when we die, listen, bro. That's wild. I would like to see what he says. Drop the link.
What?
The largest account size on Apex is 300. For example, let's say you had $1,000 and you have a good edge. You can buy 2 or 3 300K accounts on the days they're on discount. You can get them for $50. You take your time, you pass them, then you activate them. In total, you're gonna spend around $500, and then you have 3 accounts. That's funny. The candle we decided to enter was the candle we decided to pull back on. But it's all good. The 15-minute just closed bearish. No bottom wick on the 15. This looks decent to just continue down. I lost my voice. Yeah, I would have to see, because if we start to break structure, I can't just take pineapples at any level. I have to see so we just had a 30-minute closure. The 30-minute closed bearish. We closed bearish back into range. We're coming up to create a top wick. It would have to be that we flip bullish, fake out, and then come back down and start closing bearish again back in range, and then I can start taking sells wherever that happens. So if this starts to happen, we get that fake out and then it closes back in range, I can take sells on these levels here to come back down. The thing with Apex is that they have straightforward rules, and their rules are pretty simple. If you break the rule, you don't get paid out. You don't get your money taken away. You have to trade 8 trading days without breaking any of the rules. And yeah, they don't take your money away. So let's say you broke the rule where the consistency aspect of the rule, where if you on average take 3 micros and you scale up to 1.2, if you take 1.2 on average 12 micros, what are you doing taking 42 micros on a news event? You were down on the account, you decided to set a buy stop for 42 micros before news, you went into profit, break even on the day. They're going to look at your account and say, hey bud, you broke the rule. If you want to pay out, you got to trade 8 more consistent days without breaking any of the rules, and you'll be able to get paid out again. The denials come from breaking rules, but they don't take your money. You only have to trade profitable for 8 consistent days. I'm not advocating for like Apex or anything like that. I don't have a code with them anymore. They took away my code. But what's it called? Price-wise, with the right strategy, they're pretty decent. But also, top one is pretty fucking nice. Before they came out with these new rules, you were basically buying an instant funded for $300. Within 3 days, you made $1,000, and you can withdraw your $1,000. You blew the account, but then you bought another one for $300 and kept 700. And within 3 days. Then they made it a rule that you need to have 5% before you can request payout instead of 2%. But yeah, bro. Hola. You do whatever you please, right? Like, for example, when I went on Twitter and I was researching to see who got denied with Apex, I would ask the person, can you show me your trade history so that I can see what you traded and how you traded and what your entry and what your exit was? And they wouldn't show me. And I'm like, bro, how do I know that you didn't break a rule or did something that you're not supposed to do if you don't show me your trade history and show me how you're trading? May, October of last year, I was getting 30 to 40K payouts every month. After the rule change or 30% DD rule left, I left and haven't gotten a payout since. They changed their rules back. Bro, the same thing happened to me. That's why I lost all of my accounts and I got funded again. Apex has pretty trash rules, to be honest. No, not really. Let's see if we can get a top wick entry on this 30. Looking for some like somewhere in this range. What rule don't you like? Oh yeah, you still have the 30% drawdown. Yeah, you still have that. The way I get around it is I just have a larger account and use less risk. All accounts have trailing drawdown, bro. Alright, I'm gonna take another sell here. Every futures firm has trailing drawdown, bro. Oh yeah, end of day drawdown. Yeah, of course. But the thing is, with Apex, once you get to your profit target threshold, there's no more trailing drawdown. This needs to start pulling back here, right? This massive push up was unexpected, and that's not what we were looking for. We were looking for this to retest the lows and to continue down. Now that it's pulling up here and we're taking a second pineapple entry, we have closed all the way back below the range, but this could literally still be a lower high for a continuation up. And screw us, right? We closed below these ranges, we retested these highs, we broke, we closed below, we did everything that we were supposed to do in order to continue down bearish. So all we have to do is just make sure that we respect this level. But if we start to close above here and we start to form higher highs and higher lows above this level here, I'm going to have a stop loss above these levels, and that's where I'm looking to manage risk. I'm not really looking to hold to all of these highs here. So we have to respect this area and have to start pushing back down. The idea was off the 4 hour, right? We're still 4 hour money printing, right? And that was the whole idea, that this 4 hour close with barely a top wick. We barely grabbed orders down here and we pulled up to flip bearish for the money printer here on the 4 hour after closing back below all of these ranges. We've grabbed orders from here, we've grabbed orders from here, we've grabbed orders from these highs over here. So how many more times is it going to grab orders from these highs before finally dumping down? So on the higher time frame, it's looking much cleaner. So it just depends on what the market decides to do. Gold can do whatever it wants. I'm not in control of price. I'm in control of where I enter and where I close. And I've determined what I'm going to do if this isn't the daily high. And that's it, big dog. Bro, all of this is preparing you for a real account, bro. When you have a real live account, you're not going to be taking withdrawals every 8 days anyways. You're going to be withdrawing once a month. So why do you need a withdrawal every 8 days if you're going to when you trade a live account in the future, you're not going to be withdrawing every 8 days? Why does trailing drawdown matter is if after you reach your profit target, you don't have any trailing drawdown anymore. So basically, the 8 days don't matter because you're not going to be withdrawing every 8 days on a live account. And the trailing drawdown doesn't matter because once you reach the profit target that you need to reach anyways, the trailing drawdown is gone. I don't know why trailing drawdown exists, to be honest. I don't know the benefit of it for them. It's as if you're playing basketball and they tell you for the first 10 points, you got to make them one-handed. After that, you can use two hands. What benefit does it give you? It just delays the game longer. It makes it fun for nobody. And eventually when we get there and we can use two hands, it's going to be like, I don't know. I don't think that was a good analogy. Honestly, I wish that I had a citizenship in another country where I was able to trade CFDs. Listen, the passing rate for Apex is exactly the same as it is for every CFD firm in existence. People on CFDs without trailing drawdown, without all these rules, they still fail just as much as people on Apex, proving that none of these rules do anything. It doesn't make you fail more. People are already failing more. Who said to hold it to 310? Let me have a little talk with you, bro. I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just kidding. Just let gold do what it's gonna do. It's gonna fake us out, it'll fake us out. If it's gonna be go in profit, it'll go in profit. If it's gonna go break even, it'll go break even. It'll let us know. It'll let us know if this was a fake out for a continuation back up. But what I am telling you is that if this doesn't start driving down in 15 minutes when that 9 o'clock closure happens, this thing will likely keep driving up. Because it's driving up now, putting us in drawdown already in a pineapple, once this 9 o'clock closes, it's hit or miss. It's either going to put us in profit or it's going to hit stop loss instantly.
Dana White confirmed that the winner of Bilal versus JDM determines who Ilya fights. Meaning if Bilal wins, Islam.
The winner of who?
Bilal versus JDM.
Bilal's going to take that. And he's going to get knocked out. Nah, I think Bilal's going to put some work in and show people why he's the champ.
I think JDM wins. Yeah.
Alright. So you bet JDM and I'll bet. I lose every time, so you might win. I haven't won a parlay ever.
I have.
I won like one or two
My
parlays.
first one back in forever. I'm gonna cook up right now, actually.
No bueno.
You know what I'm gonna do? Tomorrow I'm gonna open an account for for a bookie, and I'm gonna put my same bet, my parlay that I'm gonna do for UFC, and then I'm gonna add a second leg parlay to it, which is gonna be that Islam and Ilya fight. Islam wins. And my shit's gonna be like plus 80,000.
Bilal by decision. Bilal. Yeah.
JDM by decision and outwork.
Shit.
And if it's a knock, JDM.
Where's Bougie at?
JDM knocks out in the third round. If not, JDM by decision. No one's been able to test his chin, so I don't know.
Does anybody know why the Pakistan shit war made gold dump, but when Ukraine and Russia go to war or Israel goes to war with Gaza, it goes up? What the fuck?
Well, maybe the mines. Somehow the oil mines have to do with the gold mines. So, assuming so. It's the only thing I can connect that to. Although, India. Well, yeah.
Gold mine locations.
Monday. Fucking genius. Damn. Oh gosh, shit. Someone's making my freaking glasses dirty. Everything.
Why don't you buy wipes?
You want me to just carry a wipe in my pocket all the time?
Yeah, you buy the alcohol pads,
Oh,
and then they literally won't leak, and you just put them in your wallet.
I'm gonna carry alcohol pads in my wallet.
Yeah, obviously you need them. Maybe you carry a bag or some shit. India, Pakistan, just drama, just hype. So what you're saying is, this is a fake out.
What's JT's girl doing? Still? Yeah? I wonder if she ended up doing the insurance thing. Probably not.
Juan. CLWN. I don't know what you're talking about. Clown? What? Question mark? Likely looking like it's gonna hit stops with the way this is running. It looks like it's probably gonna retest these highs or some shit. $10 for this hourly closure. Let's see if we last, if it just starts pumping before the hourly closure. How'd the deal go?
Hasn't gotten approved.
Financially?
Financially.
So they want the car, but the numbers, they can't afford it?
The bank.
Oh, the bank. Look at their country's situation. Bless you. I see reels every day from India, Pakistan. Economy sucks, and they're wasting millions of dollars on jets, destroying each other's jets for no reason. Exactly. That's exactly what we were talking about earlier. That instead of spending $150 million on a jet that you just blew up in 45 seconds, why didn't you spend $150 million to clean up your streets, bro? Instead of dumping your trash into the ocean, you could have spent $150 million, sent Navy ships out to at least do a one-time cleaning of everything and let it pile up again, but at least you cleaned it once. If you're just going to waste $150 and poof it into thin air, you might as well do it to at least clean your place once. Like, come on, bro. Like, that stuff gives you like a feeling inside when you're like, your people are struggling and you're spending millions on war.
What do you expect? Like, buy a deal.
What's China gonna do? My guess,
I'm about to snap a rollie off the rollie.
you don't want to know my guess. Do we draw the alien again? Yes, sir.
And that's only if I sell 12 cars and I'm already at 6.
Wrong way. Damn, how does that, damn. Weed, dog, not no burrito. A 30, when I reach 10K subscribers, I'm gonna be giving away some shit. I'm like 600 away. I'm gonna be giving away some gold notes, maybe a silver bar, and some funded accounts. I just have to figure out how I pay for the accounts, get the code, and then I can send you guys a code. We're not gonna be giving out gold bars. Ah, fuck. Damn. But I am gonna be giving away a solid gold dollar bill. 24 karat gold. Pure 24 karat gold dollar bill. Come on, man. What are we doing here? You give me an address, and I'll mail it with insurance. How much DD in 5K? 250 USD? Alright. Let me log in here. Huh? Oh, how much for a 5K account? 30 bucks. The thing is that with 32 bucks on a futures, you can't open up a .01. You need minimum $500 to open up a .1. Knowing what's gonna happen in a minute and a half, this is most likely gonna hit stop loss. No doubt about it. If this does hit stop loss, we're gonna be having an hourly closing, no top wick, no top wick. It's gonna be an ugly closure here. So I don't know what would happen here. It might grab liquidity anywhere in this area and then start coming back down. But after re-breaking the highs during Asian Open, I really don't know if it's a good idea to hold the trade past that. Usually we see it pump extremely far after that. Probably like $30. I'm gonna take another entry here. Let's see how far this can dump. Damn, I didn't even see you were on Discord, brother. This is really just a waiting game. Sitting on your hands and waiting. And trying not to let all of those demon thoughts in your brain get you down. If I do take a loss, I took a loss. Yeah, so what? It's a big loss. That was part of the plan. How I managed it, where I entered, all of my entries, it's all part of the plan. If that's what got me to passing the accountant and getting to where I'm at, then obviously it'll work continually. So you just have to stay on the ball and just continue pushing and just continue cracking and continue chipping away and continue chipping away and just keep chipping and chipping and chipping and chipping, bro. Because eventually you'll see a breakthrough. Eventually you'll get there, bro. It's like in anything, bro. The harder you go at it and the more you pursue it, the better you'll be at it, the deeper the connection. You just gotta be patient, man. That's the hardest thing to do, bro. You have no idea how hard it is to be patient. Well, you do have an idea. Patience is one of the hardest things ever, bro. This is the make it or break it level. This is the pivot point. So this is where it can reverse us all the way back up to the highs and stop us out, or this is where it's going to come back down and put us in profit. So we're about to know very shortly what's going to happen. It's wild volume tonight, literally swinging us around. We had a good first half of the session, and then it went into instant drawdown, pulled back quite a bit, man. That was wild. Very, very strong pullback. Unexpected. 145 pip pullback. That's tough on gold, man. When it does that 145 pip pullback, bro, fuck. So unexpected and tough to anticipate. So the 5 minute closed back into range. What are you gonna do here, gold? The money printer on the 4 hour was the whole idea. I could read your chat too, bro. The thing is that this chat, sometimes I forget to open it, but I have it open now. This is all just noise. This is the 4-hour money printer in play. It's all just noise on the smaller time frame, trying to fake you out. So you just have to be very patient. We've closed below. We're starting to form a level. On the rebreak of that low, that's where we should see a nice pop to the downside. Maybe worst case a retest of our level here and then a push back down. If it does come all the way back up and hit stops, that's crazy. That's not what I was expecting. But if we flip here and we push down, I do believe we should see a decent pop to the downside. This is just all my data coming into play. I just have to be very patient and not be scared of my entries. And just take the risk. If you're not interested in the trade anymore, you can close, right? There was plenty of opportunities. But man, I just have the deepest confident feeling that it's going to come down and put us in a little bit steeper profit. Which is why I have a TP there, because we could see just a massive candle pushing us to the downside there. The 15-minute just closed. The 15-minute closed bearish back into range. We could see a top wick before flipping bearish here. That's not out of the ordinary. That would be expected before coming back down. I would prefer that. Closed below, respected, wicked. Yeah. And that's a full closure for 40 pips. Well, 39 pips. You know who did that? It wasn't me. God did. I'm good. You think I'm playing? Were you shitting bricks at work and on the way home? Be honest. You waited for me to go into drawdown and say, "Ha, dumbass, I got a better entry." What great pineapples, right? Great stop loss. I could take more entries, to be honest. On the lower time frame, it just looks perfect. On the higher time frame, is ugly, but on the lower time frame, it looks perfect. 4 hour and 5 minute and lower, it looks perfect. From the 15:30, 1 hour and 4 hour, it looks like the 1:30 and 15 look really bad. But well, there goes my first entry in profit. So this adds more confluence to what I was talking about earlier, where 90% of the time my first entry goes back into profit regardless of the drawdown. So what does that say? That says that I have to be more strategic with where I enter my pineapples, because if I take too much risk, I won't be able to hold the drawdown before it eventually comes back to my target, or eventually comes back to at least the first entry. So what have I been saying this whole time, bro? It's just data, bro, and knowing your data. My first entry, so I said, all right, the probability of this coming back to my first entry is 90%. With that in mind, where can I take my next possible pineapple? At this level here. Where's the next possible pineapple? At this level here. After the third pineapple, where do we have levels? Nothing. Clean range all the way up. If we re-break the high really, really fast, I'll put a stop loss wherever that is. But if we re-break the high and do this, then I'll set a stop loss here at this level, right? And that would be my stop, indicating that that would be the max daily high before continuing back up. So that's why I had my stop loss up there. It doesn't matter how many pips that was. I don't give a shit. That's where my stop loss was. There's no more levels for it to come back from after that level. So we caught 26 pips on one trade. No, I'm tripping. 13 plus 10, that's 26, plus 39, let's round it to 40. $66 pips for the session. So the person earlier that was like, why didn't you hold the runner? The runner, if it would have ran the full range of 200 pips, would have made me the same amount of money as the scalps did now. So I would much rather be in and out to make the $200 than to hold a trade with one runner and then just watch it run for forever. I don't know. I like to just be in and out, take risk off the table. Not gonna lie. We had some pip and dippers around 850. We had some pip and dippers around 850. When we were about to hit stop loss, we had some pip and dippers. We dropped 10 viewers at 9:50, and then it picked back up at 9:11 when price started flying back down. I feel you, Donvo. Shout out to Donvo. Shout out to Wix9. Shout out to the OGs that taught me everything I know, and I put everything that they've taught me together. Shout out to the Woes. Shout out to the Wixes. I don't even know his real name. But it's all cool. When I FaceTime with Wix, I don't need his fucking name. His name is Wix. That's all I need to know. The fuck I need to know a government name for? Big dog in the house. Can you explain the logic behind the trading, brother? Yes, sir. Okay. This was a trade based off of the 4-hour time frame. So I'm going to delete everything and I'm going to show you guys the logic behind this trade. This was a trade based off the 4-hour time frame. What do we have here? This 4-hour candle here closed all the way below this hourly strong level here, meaning closing below support. We closed back into the lower half of this range that we have here. So we have resistance here, we have support here, right? So we broke into this range here. So this is the range that I see that we're trading in now. After the 4-hour closed into the range, it filled the majority of the range, and then without pulling back at all, it filled the majority of the range without pulling back at all. When this next 4-hour candle opened up without creating a bottom wick, only to drive up, what does that tell me? That shows me that the 4-hour money printer is starting to play. That this could be a closure below. This could be a top wick to grab orders at the top of the range before continuing back down. So, with that in mind, the first time that we flipped on the 4-hour, I took a sell. Hold on. See if we can get a pullback here. And a rebreak. Alright, I'm gonna have a sell stop. What do we have? 5 minutes for this 30. There's a lot of volume right now. The 4-hour just flipped after grabbing orders at the daily high for the second time. This rebroke the daily low and it took my out in profit at the same time. So, GG's. That was 31 pips in 1 second. GG's. Yep. 32 Pippa Rooskies. 32 Pippa Rooskies. So we're at 100 pips for the session, gang. And I'm going to call it there. That's it. I'll smoke this last blunt with you guys. And we outie. After commissions, 76 pips. Commissions, because of the pineapples and all these entries break even, took away 25 pips in commission, bro. You see how the 4-hour flipped? The money printer on the 4-hour flipped. We're starting to fill the wick on the way down. The daily flipped because the daily needed a bottom wick. So all of these concepts together in confluence is what gave me the idea. Now, my stop loss and my entry and why I held all the way up there. When price opened up and we came up and created this high, because we broke through all of these levels, we broke through resistance, and we closed back down, I said, okay, bet. This has got to be the daily high, because we literally broke all of the highs here that I had marked. We hit all of these levels here. So we hit these highs here, and we broke below this. So we hit the high here, and we turned this support into a resistance and continued bearish. So that was the whole idea behind taking the sell here. That support that was right there, we turned it into a resistance and we kept pushing down. So I took a sell here. So this was a support all the way over here, right? So I was looking to turn this into a resistance after pushing down off this level. So I'm just going off historical price action. And because that was the 4-hour low, the daily low, and all that shit put together, or it was the daily flip, not the daily low, but the 4-hour money printer, the thing with the 4-hour money printer is that you're going to get faked out on the lower time frame a lot because it's a higher time frame play. So because it's a higher time frame play, and what do we notice here? All of these hourlies don't have top wicks. What does that tell you? All of these drive down could still give you a pullback to these highs before driving back down. There's no top wicks here. That's very important for price to either grab orders there or to give you a top wick. So what did it do? Instead of giving us a top wick, because it never gave us that top wick on those hourlies, it just grabbed orders right to the T there. So I set my stop loss a little bit higher. It was arbitrary. I set my stop loss to a point where if price rebroke the daily high, it would give me a chance for it to pull back, and then I'll move my stop a little lower. Or if it pushes the daily high and it drives 20 pips, 30 pips past the daily high, I know that, okay, shit, it's going to continue. Because see, every time that price broke the daily high here, you got like a 20 pip push, and then it reversed. So if I put my stop loss like a little bit higher than the average push past the daily high, then there's a very high chance it's not going to get hit. The trade that happened here doesn't even show in the fucking books. It doesn't even, the candles don't even show here. I wonder if it even counted the trade. I'm going to have to look back at the order books and see if it even counted the trade or if it closed at break even or what. Oh, there it is. No, bro. Listen, bro. I smoke a blunt a day. So it's not even too bad. It's not regular blunt paper either. It's Dutch Master. It's the most expensive one. Top of the line. Best of the best. I started smoking at 18. %, bro. They raised it to 5%. Nah, bro, I'm 28, dog. I've been just smoking for 10 years. The first time that I smoked, I was 17, and I didn't get high. And then on my senior year of high school, I was driving my car to and from work, and then I would smoke like here and there every once in a while. But then like smoking myself, where I would buy my own shit and roll my own blunts. When I was like 19, 18, 20 maybe. I think it was like 20. Because even up to like 20, I would like just meet up with people and we would smoke a blunt. And then I would go like a few days without smoking, and then I would smoke a blunt here and there. Like just a party. Damn. For me, it slows my mind down. My mind is racing way too fucking much. It's the ADHD brain, and I don't like taking pills. I would be taking a re-break of the daily low there. That's a beautiful sell. I think that's what I have. What do I have here? I have natural Arabic gum, unbleached premium rolling papers. The re-break could still happen. This is looking even cleaner now after this pullback. Whoever said hold to 93.10, my brother, I hope you're still here and you didn't pip and dip. Chris, I know you pipped and dipped, pussy. If you don't respond within 15 seconds, you pipped and dipped. Whoever took those sell stops, my brother, that was clean. Instant 23 pips profit. My brother in Christ, we have reached target. I could have milked tonight for about 23 more pips on this push, 30 more pips. But after being up 100 pips on the session, do I want to do that? Nah, I'm Gucci. I'm calling it. Look at that, bro. Red price action like a fucking book. Stop loss to the T. Stayed composed, strategic, and I panicked internally, I'm not gonna lie. In my mind, I was like talking shit, saying, fuck, I'ma lose. But then I was like, stop thinking like that, you fucking pussy. Think back to your strategy. Think back to your risk management. Think back to your data. Think back to how many times your first entry gets hit after drawdown. Just be patient. And patient I was. A as it pushed down to fill the wick, and look, it just gave you some more. Exactly, bro. What was I saying when we were right here? When we were still negative in the trade, I was saying this is a 4-hour trade. All of the smaller time frame is just noise. As long as we respect these highs, everything inside of here is just noise. You look at the 4-hour candle and none of these pullbacks mattered at all. It's all just noise for the higher time frame playing out. This was a 4-hour trade where I used the smaller time frame down to the 1 minute to get my entries and my averages before closing in profit. Yeah, we may continue to pop down, but this was my whole analysis, the 4-hour money printer. Now that the 4-hour money printer is done, played out, I would now have to redo an analysis, and I'm tired. Fuck that. I'm gonna go get a bottle of water and I'm gonna finish out this blunt with you guys, and I'm out. My dog. Does that much meat not give you diarrhea, or is your stomach used to it already? What does ground bison taste like? Because the Sprouts at my place sells it. Half pound is 8 ounces. That's a normal serving. Well, at least in America, that's a normal serving. Every time I go get a steak anywhere, I always get a half pound, 8 ounces. Force of nature. Alright, so I think I'm going to call it here. I think I gave a pretty good explanation of the 4-hour money printer, why I took the entry, why I took the pineapples, why I set my stop loss there. Listen, don't get me wrong. This came really close, right? This could have, especially at the 9 o'clock open. What have we seen for months and months and months at the 9 o'clock open? We see price pump up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pips. Now, what happened tonight where it rejected at the 9 o'clock open hundreds and hundreds of pips? Hey. That was a change of character of the 9 o'clock open. For the last, I don't know, 40 trading days, we've been seeing the same thing over and over and expecting it. 9 o'clock pop with no bottom wick. 9 o'clock pop with no bottom wick. Damn, the 9 o'clock popped again with no bottom wick. Damn, I needed a bottom wick there until we finally got used to it popping without a bottom wick. And then I started taking advantage of some of that push. And then now today, 20 pips from stop loss, 9 o'clock open. What does probability and historical price action say? That it should have flipped bullish, stopped us out, and kept driving, grabbing more orders at another level somewhere over here. But because it flipped bearish, that was out of the ordinary. And I said, okay, we flipped bearish here. To really confirm that this is gonna be it, that's why I took a pineapple here without having structure. Because the 9 o'clock was about to open, or it did open and it didn't pop, and I said, okay, we didn't pop. There's a possibility it's going to come back the other way. Because if it's not an instant push, like it's happened every single time, because it doesn't create a bottom wick, the fact that we pulled back, I said, bet. Pineapple, I'm risking another 30 pips. No big deal. This was the real confirmation. Break back below the VWAP, retest it, the dump. This was the real confirmation for me that this is it. Once I saw this, I said, bet, I'm going to hold. It was up like 4 pips, 10 pips, and I'm like, I got to wait. And then I waited for one more pop after 10. It went to like 13, 14, 15 maybe, and I closed. But that's 100 pips on stream. We went through drawdown, 20 pips from stop loss. The same thing that happened yesterday. And yesterday we caught another 100 pips on stream. 2 consecutive nights catching 100 pips. After I took the loss in the beginning of the week, I've had my best trading ever. Made the most money I've ever made ever in a day trading. And it just goes to show that I have to keep following my plan. When I break my plan, I take bad losses that I shouldn't be taking. When I follow my plan, I win. And this is just more and more evidence that I'm stacking up that I just need to follow the plan. Instant drawdown. I could have panicked and started selling. Bam, sell, bam, sell, bam, sell, bam. But nah, man. I followed the plan. Have a good night, gang. Tired of yapping.